Okay, go.
Will you tell us your name today?
Uh, I'm
Ac-
Emmanuel Mhozi.
Okay, cut. Doing.
Okay, will you tell us your name today?
I'm Emmanuel Mhozi. The late Eric was my grandfather.
And
Uh,
you felt it was important to share a bit more about his dedication to educating this community.
Absolutely. I don't remember much about him because at least I had the opportunity to see him for a few years, but what I remember about him is that other than being an educationist, he was a very smart guy. He was extremely smart and used to put on white trousers and white shirts. And to me, that would tell it all. It depicted the, the virtues and what he stood for in terms of education, that reflected the hygiene that he advocated for, other than being the preacher. So to me, he was also a leader of at that time it was Boys Brigade Band, and he was a perfectionist. I remember whenever he would lead the band, you didn't have, there was no room for error. You had to do it perfectly well. Yeah, so other than that, I remember him as one of the, actually he's the pioneer. He's the one who introduced at that time Frisian animals in this community, and for the purposes of improving the livelihoods of his people in terms of income. And he also set up a milk collecting center. And I remember vividly at that time, the community was about, the cows at that time were more of prestige to have beautiful Ankole cows, but to him he was visionary, and he saw that that would not actually help the people, and he thought about introducing Frisian dairy animals, which were better milkers. They would give more milk than our Ankole traditional animals. So he was visionary. He would see far where the community would not see. He had big time plans,
Bigger picture.
the bigger picture of what the community should be, and we remember him for that as well, other than being the educationist and the preacher.
Going back to the Boys Brigade, what did that help the community with? Was that working with the youth,
Yes,
being in the band?
I remember I was, oh, tiny, that I was like 6, 7 years, but he was working with they were youth. They were between, you would say, between 12 to about 18 years. And you would see the passion he had in ensuring that these young people were doing the, the, the band and playing it quite well. He wanted to show actually what it means to be perfect in what you do as a young person and with passion. So to me, that was also very important.
And when he introduced the Frisian cows, the dairy farming, how did that lift the community? And how many people got involved?
Actually, you see, when you look at this community, the introduction of Frisian actually spread from our community to other neighboring communities. You talk about Buyanja, but the farming as a business, the introduction of Fresian began with our community in Kebisoni, and it spread over to other neighboring sub-counties. So
And he was responsible and influential in
absolutely,
introducing
he
the
was
farm.
responsible, and his farm was actually a model farm. People would come from all places to see the kind of management that was required for those Fresian animals. Yeah, so it was a model farm that people would come from all over to come and learn. So to us as a community, that was the beginning of the introduction of the Fresian animals in the community and in the district as a whole. So we credit him for that as having been the pioneer and the visionary leader he was in the community, that he thought about introducing
After he retired.
after he had actually retired. That
from
was
teaching.
Can
after
you-
he had retired from teaching.
Can you repeat that one more time and just say his name?
We remember Eric Bugari as having retired from teaching. He did not stop there. He went ahead and continued the work of teaching through the introduction of the Fresian dairy animals in the community. So we remember the late Eric Bugari as the pioneer for the introduction of dairy animals in our community. And as we talk today, all the communities around here are now rearing the dairy, benefiting from his legacy of the dairy animals.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Do you have anything else?
I think that's good.
Okay.
7 minutes.
You don't want to ask him anything about education? Is a father here, have kids, blah, blah, blah. Nothing? You don't want anything on the center, the community center?
About the health education?
Yeah. No?
The community center, which will include a library and a hall, a community hall for the use to be used for the community functions. It will also include a place for the youth for health education, you know, like sanitation, hygiene, educating for health and like STDs and things that are good for the community, like family planning, that kind of thing. What do you see, you know, at your age with somebody who has young children when you come home for holidays? What do you see the community center going to benefit the community?
From my own perspective, I should say this is a very wonderful initiative, because I guess in our community it will be the first of its kind in terms of what it will do to the community. You know, the biggest percentage of our population, you know, in Uganda are youth, and health education is actually an integral and important part of our education system, because it provides the lessons that we actually don't get from formal education. So it will be an opportunity for the young people who are school going and those who have also finished school to know the most important aspects of life, like we have HIV, we have other STDs, we have home hygiene, personal hygiene, and we know personal hygiene is, in terms of the sanitation, is also very important if we have to uplift our communities, the need to have safe water for drinking, the need to have facilities like latrines, the need to wash our hands after eating, before eating I mean. And these are very small things that can actually transform a community from one level to another, because it will eliminate what we call the communicable diseases, the dysentery, the cholera that we've been having, you know, all over Uganda and in our communities, because it's not that the country is not doing a lot about them, but these are more to do with time-to-time interaction with the communities to say, this is what is happening, this is how you need to keep your hygiene, then you can prevent all these diseases. So I think, again, as a community, it will be a role model initiative in the community and in the district, and other districts can actually learn from it, because we know this is what our grandfather Eric Bugadi fought for, to have the community understand the different aspects of life, of which sanitation and hygiene is part. And also for the little kids, like what my little boys that I have today, they would take time off, go and read the different material that is there to actually enrich their knowledge about the hygiene and the sanitation, and then the communicable diseases. Yes, so this is a very good initiative, and I know it will go a long way in transforming our communities. This is a brilliant idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. That was
That's
important to
even
get.